Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I want to thank you for tuning in. And I just wanted to press play, have a nice conversation with you guys again about a certain topic that always pops up in my brain and that I tend to think about, and really occurrences in my life that just always happen. And it's the beauty and mystery of the universe and the elegance of its timing and how profound they can be in their moments, right? And this, for instance, this happens so much where I could tie my shoelaces, take a little bit longer to put my shoes on, have to brush my teeth, come downstairs. I take a little longer in the car, I get a bunch of red lights, I might get a few green lights. And at the destination that I reach, I end up seeing so many people that I know or haven't seen in a while, or I happen to run into my best friend. No matter what it is, these things happen, and I just find that if I tune into them, I start to look at things differently. Like, I'll look at the red lights differently, or the green lights differently, and I know, hey, the universe is putting these in front of me for some reason, to hit this destination at a certain time. Or it's so profound, right? You could be sitting in traffic and 3 cars behind you could be the love of your life. You won't know. You don't know these things, and they could end up being the car next to you. Or it's the strings we have attached to our soul and connected to the earth and everyone else, and it's just so beautiful to think about and really get into. And if you start to tune into something like that, you too will have a new way of looking at things. And this thought process comes up a lot for myself, and I wanted to just speak about it now because I had a bit of an instance where it happened, and I was so surprised by it that I took a moment to reflect on it a little longer than I usually do. So I just wanted to press play and have that nice conversation with you all, and that you can have a little listen about it too, and think about it. And I always push it back to a good movie that I love, is called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil too much, but I try not to, but you know, do watch it if you can. But it's a Brad Pitt movie, and his age gets reversed basically, and in one moment his life partner, I believe her name is Daisy, she's a ballet dancer, and she's dancing, she's doing her routine, and she's about to hit it big time. You know, she's a high up there in her profession, right? So she's practicing, and then it cuts to lots of different frames. And for instance, you know, the taxi driver takes a little longer, or a bicycle driver has to make a delivery, and that takes a little longer, and a truck pulls out in front of them, and a lady's has a breakup, and she's distraught, and then she takes a little longer in her circumstance, right? So all these little butterfly effects happen, and they all take part. And Daisy finishes her routine, and she finishes her practice, and she dwells outside and comes into this street, in the back street, where it's a single lane, and a car's coming past, and she twirls, and the car hits her. And if she just twirled a little bit earlier, or the car came a little bit earlier, or a bit later, she would have missed it, right? But the way the world works, it had shattered her legs, and she wasn't able to do her profession anymore, and she wasn't able to be the world-class ballet dancer that she was supposed to be, right? And it's quite heartbreaking, and it makes you think that if there is those beauty beautiful parts, and there has to be those bad parts, right? There is no light without dark. And you have to take it all as a lesson or a journey, and just believe in the path, or even just change your way of thinking to know that this has happened for a reason. I've got to be optimistic that this will put me in a path to something greater, or where I need to be, or I need to learn something because maybe I wasn't being present in another area because I was focusing on my profession for too long, and now I need to focus on here. Or there could be a number of takeaways from that, and you might not find out until very later in life, but it's very interesting to think about. And if you are intrigued, I do recommend watching that movie, and you will enjoy it, I'm sure. But that's what I always come back to, is that movie, and how lovely. The whole thing is just lovely, and has those occurrences in it. But why I had this thought process again was because recently I saw an old co-worker of mine. He started a business, and it popped up, and I was like, oh, fantastic, let me message him and have a nice chat. I wanted to pass on some gems that I've learnt and give to him, and it was all very, very nice. And he asked if I was back in the area of my hometown, and I haven't seen him in probably 8 to 9 years. And I just so happened to be traveling back into my hometown for the Christmas period, so everything was aligning, and the universe put it there. And I was like, I messaged him back saying, oh, luckily enough, I am back just for a week. And so this timing happened, and we caught up, and we passed on business gems and learnt some more, which I might pass into later videos, which is gonna be fun. But yeah, this whole thing happened in a beautiful timing, and while we were there, he spoke about how daunting it can be starting a business, and pressing invite to everyone that you know in your friends list for them to like your profile or business page and whatnot, right? And I passed on some motivation to him to really do it, and in the moment he pressed select all friends and sent the invite out. It could only be a couple of minutes later that another person we worked with, or used to work with at our old job, had come into the cafe, and we had many meetups when we used to hang, and it was a big group of people and friends, and it was very nice. But back in the day, it was very nice, right? And looking back at it, that was my time period of fun. But yeah, it was quite a coincidence of the universe to bring him into the cafe after sending that invite out, and we had a chat, handshake, hey, how you doing? And it makes you think, well, some people are still stuck in their old ways of doing things, and people have their own ways of leveling up in life, sure, but some people are faster at it, or choose to go to higher paths in life. Not looking down on anyone or anything, but just mentioning it, right? But yeah, I thought that was very funny and very interesting, and it just popped in my head. Wow, for instance, seeing his page, liking him, messaging him about it, meeting up at that certain time, and getting over the fear of sending out an invite, and then having to see people that you know straight after that moment, and something like that, right? But I always run into people everywhere I go, and maybe I just know a bunch of people. Maybe that's the instant. Maybe that's the fact. And I always think I would love to get to a stage where I can run into people all over the world. I want to know that many people, or be that well connected, that I have a place or a home in every location, or a group of friends and brotherhood that I can connect with, so something so amazing like that, right? Yeah. So just know that, you got to find beauty in it all, in the universe. There is no light without dark. And just trust in the process, trust in the universe. Just trust in that timing, because you'll be where you need to be and you'll have the strength to get through it all. So, yeah. Okay. That's it, really. That's what I wanted to talk about, and I appreciate you clicking on this video and listening to me and enjoying the discussion. And if you want to hear anything more about it all, or you have something to say in the comments about it, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. But thank you for watching. I'm Jaden Connolly, and I'll see you next time.